Hello, 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 fellow tourists. My name is Josh, and welcome back to another episode of Dr. Stone. Last week might have been one of, if not the best episode of the series. Maybe it's just like I feel like that episode came so perfectly into the season and gave us so many answers in regards to Zeno's past, his relationship with Senku. Got to see kind of early Zeno and Stanley. There was a lot of stuff that was in last episode. It was just perfectly paced. Everything about it was so good. So I think it's a good contender for best episode of the series. But we ended it off. Shockingly little was done last episode. It was mostly just a flashback. So we still don't even know if Luna is still on board. Maybe this episode Senku flips Luna. Maybe she finds out that Senku is her type. I don't know how she hasn't figured it out. I still don't think that she knows that he's the scientist. So maybe this episode Luna flips, and they somehow defeat Stanley, but I don't know how they do that because he's a sniper. And he does have Carlos and Max with him, so maybe they can sabotage Stanley a little bit. I don't know. This is episode 8. So 4 episodes, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 4 episodes left of this season after this episode. So we got 1 month before we go on a little break until Core 2 comes. Ooh, we'll see. Because Dr. Stone has a thing with their pacing. It can take them a while to do something, or they can do some things in a snap. Whichever way they do it, it usually comes out perfectly. But I don't think Zeno is gonna get taken down this season, or at least this core. So I'll see after this episode. If this episode kind of feels like we're building towards it, maybe by the end of episode 12, Senku defeats Zeno, and then we move on to the final stages because we still gotta get to the moon. Or maybe Zeno's kind of goes on to core 2. I don't know. We'll see. Let's just get right into this episode, shall we? Oh my god, a new footage. It's not a recap. Nice. He might be the first person in all of America to have woken up. Just like Senku might have been the first person of all Japan to have woken up.
There's nitric acid.
Yeah, Stanley was the first one to wake up.
Morning. Had a feeling you'd be up next, Stan. Good. You've always been a dependable ally.
He didn't wake up Stanley. Stanley woke up on himself. Okay.
Meaning the race is on.
No.
It's a rather elegant battle, don't you think?
Yeah, I can definitely see. I think the author's name is Boki. I can definitely see what he's going with this. If there was any doubts, I definitely see it now, Alex. I kind of hope that this episode, I don't think it is going to. I hope this episode just stays completely in the past again. I want to see Stanley and Zeno's speedrun of the first 3 seasons of Dr. Stone. I don't mind if we don't go back to Senku for a little bit. Let's see them doing their Kingdom of Science speedrun. Okay, yeah, that's one of them. Oh, okay.
The mystery mineral acted like a time capsule.
Okay, I was wondering if the ring was gonna have any significance.
This is platinum.
Oh.
In fact, I call it elegant.
Man, Senku fought so hard to get platinum.
Champion martial artist. He revives in the present day armed with an inarguable advantage. Soon the stone world would be his for the taking. Meaning we can manufacture more gunpowder than we could ever use. First things first. We need more people.
He described exactly what's happening over in Japan. Damn. This song is interesting.
We'll secure food,
This song is
shelter,
so not Dr. Stone, but it fits so well.
Fruit of the devil. Tobacco plants just so happen to be
Nah,
wild here.
okay. Can you make me some smokes?
I'll just help myself then. Chop them up and roll them in paper. You get Stan's crutch, an addictively toxic cigarette.
Really? It's that easy? I did not need to know how to make tobacco, and that is not what I'm writing down.
We will lead this stone world as its unconquered sovereigns. Power is in our grasp.
This is exactly what Tsukasa was worried about, and I love that he was also worried about Tsukasa too. That's really clever. That's really cool. We're back. We're back.
So we have master and apprentice.
There he is! I've got him cornered head on the deck. You're toast, Dr. Taiju!
Oh my god, she still doesn't know.
Is point at him.
Oh, thank god she has a conscience.
I'm Luna, a capable woman.
Come on, Luna!
The Medusa here could prove to be our ticket to victory.
That crazy stonification weapon thingy still works?
This bad boy's been out of juice for a while, as we know.
Man, she's right behind you guys.
It's not about whether or not the thing can still be used.
I
It's an
just use it as
overly capable
bait.
scientist just like you.
Guys!
Dead, but we're still gonna use it to try and scare him into not murdering us with his guns?
Come on, do it! No! Point at
I
Dr.
feel like she's not even registering what they're saying.
My finger and boom!
Come on. God, really? That's where you're gonna midpoint me?
I can't! This is silly. I'm a cool-headed gal and a capable woman! Here's some info.
I don't think,
Someone named Senku seems to know Zeno. It's someone named Senku.
she still betrayed them. Guys, hello, is anyone... Thank you, Ryusui.
I'm transmitting some kind of message from the goddess on assignment.
The goddess, god damn it. Do they hear it?
What the?
Oh, okay, they're getting... Okay.
Senku! It's scrambled.
Oh.
The transmission's
Scrambled.
encrypted with a cipher
Okay.
machine.
Wow.
It isn't what they're saying that's important here. The
Really?
coded
Is it
message
taking you
sent
guys
over
this
all
long to
weird
realize?
Gestures.
All right. I see you. Say goodbye, Doctor.
He real... No!
Hold your fire!
Oh!
It seems Dr. Taiju was a mere decoy. The true leader of our enemy.
Is this sentiment?
Senku Ishigami.
Is this sentiment I'm hearing or no?
Okay.
His manner, his tone,
What the heck is this? Records?
recorded all of our transmissions.
Oh
We have
my
Senku's
god.
voice. I can use his voice to determine his height.
What? Is that... No
By
way.
calculating his overall vocal tract length, and then applying those numbers to human height.
He's just like Senku. But Senku does this.
Give or take
And
a
Zeno
digit.
does this.
Furthermore,
This is better.
though he may have grown.
I feel like that... Just tell me he has a salary for hair.
His height is between
I don't know why I'm trying to help.
They're genius scientists.
Ah.
I already figured out he's one of those 3 targets. And if he's really as clever as Zeno makes him out to be, he'll see you, Luna. Just like that.
Senku!
Well, hello.
I love how smart, but I also hate how smart they are.
That tells me exactly where he's located. Zeno?
Is it bulletproof?
Last chance. No takebacks.
He's a kid. Come on. Let the sentiment... Come on!
His mind is a great asset.
It's not really sentiment, is it?
A future in which
Just
he accepts
logic.
such an offer.
I want to be like, oh, this is a don't you dare end. I just realized this is going on a little too long.
Fire.
Yeah, it's cold-hearted.
Finish the job.
No sentiment at all. Music's going hard, though. What are you... Okay. Cement, isn't it? Or not cement, but something very hard. Damn!
It's called dilatant material. If the mixture is disturbed gently, it will respond by moving like a liquid. But with an abrupt impact, it suddenly turns solid. The
Really?
concept was under research, and it was theorized that it could be used to create bulletproof vests.
Shards!
Of course, this was all still conjecture.
I would have just laid down. Oh, it's gonna end there, isn't it? I think I would have preferred if it ended where Zeno just said to shoot. Do we have a doctor on board? Guys, do we have a doctor on board? Dang it. That's another great episode. That was another great... This season... I mean, I know it's wrapping up. We still have over... We have, like, what, 28 episodes still kind of left over? They've just been going hard. Like, not a single episode... not a single episode is, like, slowed down at all. Man, I mean, I think I've said this once before, but like, if this, like, all dropped at once, or if I was like super late for some reason, like I couldn't record during like while this was airing live, I'd have already finished. I would have probably done like all 12 in one go. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know where to start this discussion, but I just want to say, like, this show is so cool. Like, I didn't know, like, the thing that Senku used obviously didn't work. But, like, if you move it around gradually, I didn't know it, like, had liquid properties, and if you hit it, like, if you hit it rapidly, like, really quickly, surprisingly, with a lot of force, it's, like, solid. That's really cool. I mean, I know it has to be real, at least in theory, or at least to make a bulletproof vest out of it. But like, that's super cool. It didn't work, and I guess like it is just theory. The worst part is like it broke, the bullet fractured, so that shrapnel. That's the worst thing that could happen. Granted, I guess it's better that it broke before it hit Senku, because like the worst things that can happen, from my understanding, is if like the bullet hits you and it breaks inside of you. That's terrible. Like you're done. Or at least your chances in the modern day world are they're very slim. In the stone world, you're done. So I don't know if it's better for Senku that like they broke into pieces before they hit him, so now he just has those pieces. It is also better for him that it went through the boat, so that already stopped, or not, but like that lessened the momentum. One, it went through the boat. Two, it's not like a modern day sniper rifle, because then again, toast. Three, it went through the bag of water, not cement, not solid, not liquid. So like it went through a lot. So in the best case scenario, it's probably like not super deep, but still, I mean, they have Francois, so she's probably a doctor, right? She can do everything, or they can do everything. I'm trying to think, do we actually have a doctor on the crew? I don't think there's a doctor. Not that I can remember. I'm gonna guess Francois is gonna take it from here. But still, like if he, I don't know. I don't know, right? I don't know how Senku would have been thinking of this, but like if he just not laid down Like if this is the thing, not laid down like this, just laid down like that, the long way. What's his name? Stanley was visualizing Senku like crouching, right? So if he just laid down like that across the board and just let Stanley shoot, just like don't shoot super low. Just flatten yourself up. Just flatten yourself as hard as you can to the floor. It's intense. That was intense. And for a minute, I was kind of hoping Zeno would at least think of it like sentiment wise, right? Like, man, I didn't raise this kid, but I taught him everything he knows. He's a student. He's like a long-standing student of mine. The only reason he hesitated is because he's like, oh, yeah, I could use someone like that to help me rule the world. Zeno, bastard. So now this Zeno, there's no hope for him. No redemption for him. I do wonder if they're going to use this against Stanley, though. I think I asked a while back. I forgot why exactly my... Oh, yeah. It's because Zeno was talking about, like, oh, this Kingdom of Science, they're so gullible, they're so young, they're... He basically was insulting them because, like, they wouldn't leave a man behind. Like, they wouldn't leave Gen behind. And Zeno was like, oh, I don't have that weakness. And I was thinking, like, oh, what about Stanley? You know, would you leave Stanley behind? And so far, we've kind of seen, like, insinuations of a relationship between them. And I've been talking with some guys in my Discord that have, like, read the manga. They kind of been giving me some behind-the-scenes-ish details between Zeno and Stanley. How the author kind of is, like, laying hints. Like how the author of the series reposted some fan art of Zeno and Stanley. But then it had to be pirated because I'm going to assume like the studio or like the publishing company was like, hey, no confirmation. And he's like, dang it, you know, I thought I found a loophole. I don't know, there could, like, I think there's heavy insinuations that Zeno and Stanley are in a relationship. Or at least maybe they once were, they still are. I can definitely see it with Alex over in our Discord that you can join down in the description below. He's been like talking about it. I definitely see it, especially this episode. But I wonder, because Zeno like put his arm around Stanley. I wonder though, like it's all this like, oh, I only think in the most logical ways. Senku, he's a child. I have no qualms of killing a child if they're not useful to me. I guess he's not a child. He's 19. But I wonder, if Stanley was in trouble, or if something happens where Zeno is put in the position of saving Stanley, or like the most logical, the decision would be to leave Stanley and do something else, right? Would he do the logical decision, or would he risk the bacon to save Stanley? And if he does the logical decision, would Stanley understand? They seem to have a good understanding of each other. Would Stanley go like, yes, I expect him to do that? Or would Stanley feel betrayed? Like, I thought I would be the one that you would not be logical for. I don't think we get Stanley. I mean, we have Maz on our side, so it wouldn't be like the biggest left turn. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I wonder how far Zeno's logic carries him. I wonder, is he always cold and logical, or does he have those soft spots? Or like, how far does his relationship with Stanley go? And even if you don't want to go like, it's not a gay relationship, you can even go like, it's still like the question still applies. Like, how far does his friendship with Stanley go? Like, how far does the relationship with Stanley go as either lovers or really good friends? Would he risk, or would he do the illogical for Stanley, or would he stick to the logical? I'm really curious, because obviously no remorse for Senku. All he was thinking was, he would be a really good asset. But the probability of that is very low, so we're just take him out. And I was like, oh, there's a small sliver of me. Like, even if he still said take him out, a small sliver of me was kind of hoping, like, he would have that kind of remorse, like, oh, man, I kind of taught this kid everything he knows. Nope. Nope. He's just a very gifted mind. And then that ring, I think I forgot to mention it last episode, but I was like, oh, he ate the ring? That's weird. Why? Does he have the ring? Why show us that he ate the ring? And that was just because now it's a platinum ring. Who are these kids? Whose kids are these? But yeah, it was a platinum ring. So Zeno was able to immediately catch up to Senku in terms of being able to produce nitric acid. He just doesn't know the one ingredient, the wine, to make unlimited revival fluid or instant revival fluid. But man, what a head start he got. Like, it took Senku until the end of season 3, I think, or midway through season 3 to get platinum, and then I was like 2-ish years into the Stone World. So Zeno basically had everything. Zeno got 2 years gifted to him in 2 seconds. And then yeah, I really like how Ryusui brought it up. He's like, oh, Senku uses science to heal. Like, Senku, as soon as Senku woke up, the first thing he did was experiment. Then that's the difference between Senku and Zeno. Senku, all Senku wanted to do is save everyone. So as soon as he woke up, he focused on, once he was able to, outside of survival, with Taiju's help, he was able to completely focus on the secrets of petrification and how to revive people fully through trial and error. And that took them a long time. It took them months, I think. Whereas Zeno immediately was like, all right, we're going to start production on gunpowder. Yeah. And like, I love that his, not fear, but I guess like his fear, the worst case scenario is like, imagine if a martial arts expert woke up and he just built an army. We would be powerless against that. That's exactly what happened in Japan. That's exactly what Tsukasa did. And Tsukasa's worst fear was Zeno. I don't know. I really wish that Tsukasa had more to do this season. I know technically he's going out to go fight Zeno, but man, 9 episodes, or I guess we just finished 8 episodes, so 8 episodes in, and Tsukasa barely has like anything to do with it. I know that he doesn't have any not emotional, but he doesn't have any ties to Zeno, but philosophically wise, they're both exact opposites. Like, it's same with Zeno and Senku, but man, I feel like I'm being teased as like a season 1 and 2 Tsukasa fan. I feel like I'm being teased right now. It's a big cast though. It's a big cast. And yeah, so the mystery mineral was also acting as a preservative. That's something else. Zeno and Stanley also both woke up by themselves. No need to pour even though it's not instant revival fluid, they still poured like a bunch of revival fluid on top of everyone else, or just nitric acid, and that helped them wake up faster. But I think it was insinuated that they both woke up on their own, which I think it's just like you use a lot of brain power to I know like the nitric acid helps, but is it like the nitric acid is in the land, right? And like, since they were all like in the dirt, that nitric acid seeped into the stone. Is that it? Or is it like, if you just think a lot, you just corrode away your shell? I'm not sure. I forgot. But yeah, the nitric acid definitely does help, but they need the wine to make it the miracle fluid. And it's just, like, it's right there. It's right in front of Stanley. Or not, it's right in front of Zeno. But he's just so focused on getting domination that he's not allowing himself to have the time to experiment with life. I love it. I love that that's what differentiates him and Senku. And before I get into the comments, because I have quite a few, the last note is the music this episode, especially the beginning with Zeno and Stanley. That was great. Like it felt so not Dr. Stone, but it also felt Dr. Stone. It was great. I like that they made a new song for the Americas, and they didn't just reuse an old track, or they like kind of remixed an old track into something that was new. I like that it was a new song. It fit them very well. And that first half of the episode, I said in the reaction, I don't know if I'll make it. I would not mind if that was the entire episode. I would have loved to have seen the full 24 minutes of just Zeno and Stanley speedrunning seasons 1 through 3 of Dr. Stone. And then like episode 9, we do the gunshot thing, and then we get to actually see, we don't have to wait a week. With Senku getting shot would have been the mid section. They would have been like the mid credits. You know, I think that's a win-win, right? But no. Yeah, that was a great episode. That was a great episode. Why does Dr. Stone have to end? Man. So I'm going to get into your guys' comments. Evie sent me quite a few, and then I saw just before I started recording, Alex started sending his own comments on Discord. So I'm interested to see what you guys have got for that. So let's get right into them. Really quick before we get into the questions. I just realized I didn't talk about this. Luna's kind of conflicting me here. Like, I still like her. I think she's very silly. She's a very funny character. But she's kind of turning, but she's also kind of not turning. Like, she still gave them very valuable information that led to, well, the events that transpired at the end. The cliffhanger. So, I wonder, is it going to be because she has a crush on Senku that she turns? I don't know. Like, her, Max, and Carlos, they are the youngest of Zeno's crew, I believe. But man. It's the fact, like, it's probably because she doesn't want to kill anyone, or she doesn't want anyone to die. But, like, the fact that she gave them the information, it's like, oh. So she's slowly turning. And then probably Senku getting shot at is going to be the final straw for her. But, dang. I'm surprised that Stanley couldn't read her lips completely. Because I think it was one of her simps that was, like, semi-reading it. But Stanley didn't make any moves to understand. Like, he didn't, like, insinuate that he understood her what she was saying. I'm kind of surprised. I thought Stanley was going to be able to read her lips like crystal clear. Apparently not. And then I am surprised that it took the crew so long to find out that, like, the traitor, Luna's a traitor. Like, I know that they kind of assumed, but I feel like it took Ryusui way too long to figure it out. Like, oh, she's probably talking to someone. Would have not have, like, as soon as I saw that, like, hey, get away from the edge. But yeah, now let's get into the. I realized while I was setting things up, I realized I did not talk about that. So we're gonna start off with Evie, because he was the. I think he DM'd me at 7:24, and these episodes are like, what, 24 minutes long. So as soon as he finished watching the episode, Senku has been shot. Zenu and Stanley are definitely gay and definitely fucked before reviving everyone else. Oh, right there in the forest. Oh, you know what? Probably actually. That's actually kind of funny to think about. Like, everyone else is petrified. Like, man, I hope we wake up soon. Meanwhile, Zeno and Stanley. Yeah, I definitely. I thought you were gonna say that they definitely did it before the petrification, but no. Right there in the forest. Platinum was a pretty big advantage. Also, that reminds me of how hard Senku's dad worked in my favorite scene from season 3. Yeah. And like I said, Platinum was something that Senku and the crew, they were only able to get it because of Byakuya. Right? Yeah. Because, they're only able to get it because of Byakuya. and it took Byakuya what, a lifetime to collect all the platinum that they had. It's like I said before, like platinum is something that it took us 3 seasons to get, and Zeno got it right off the bat, so that's probably explains why he has such a big advantage over everything, like over Senku and the crew. Like bro was handed he was handed the shortcut to season 3 from the get-go. After he and Stanley got reacquainted, of course. That was like, what, 3,500 years without each other's touch? I get it, man. I get it. Like, yeah, sure. Maybe we should start reviving people, but, a man's got needs, and both men definitely had needs. I'm Luna, a capable girl. I'm Luna, a capable girl. I'm Luna, a capable... Luna's so silly, man. I love her. Imagine Senku dies a second time, but they petrify him like Tsukasa after he's begun decomposing. What happens? Well, I think after he's began decomposing, what happens? I think like if they're dead, nothing's gonna happen. So like, actually, that's a good question. In terms of, but like I think if like someone's dead, if you petrify them and then you revive them, I don't think that's gonna do anything. Maybe like it'll like preserve the body, or maybe it'll like seal the body. So like if Senku has like a bullet hole in his heart and he dies, he's gone, right? If you petrify and bring him back, maybe the bullet hole won't be there anymore. Like maybe it'll be filled. I know. There's still a bullet hole, right? I don't know, but like maybe like it'll be maybe the hole will be filled, right? But Senku will still be dead. I don't think it's gonna actually bring someone back from the dead. But what I was thinking, like, that's a good question. Like, if someone's dead before you petrify them, would the flesh still petrify, or is there like, is there like a bunch of graveyards out there like around the world that just have a bunch of stone buried beneath them, or is it still this like well, there wouldn't be bodies in there anymore. It's been 3,500 years. It's going to be like a skeleton or dust at that point. That's actually a good question. I don't think we've seen that, right? I don't think we've seen a dead body get petrified. Who's the top, Stanley or Zeno? We all know the answer. I want to say Zeno's the top, man. I'm not gonna. I think Zeno's the one that's got. Zeno's definitely got control of the relationship. That's why I'm thinking, like, how is Stanley gonna react if Zeno were to abandon him? Like, if Zeno were to use logic and go, like, it's illogical to go after Stanley, I have to abandon him. In this theoretical situation, that's what I'm asking. But Zeno definitely at the top, man. That's the only right answer. And now we're gonna go to the Discord, which again, Sky Airlines. You can join through the description down below. Like, you don't need to be, you do not need to be a part of the Patreon. You don't need to be a channel member. You're completely free to join and to join in the community. All right, so this is from Alex. New Dr. Stone episode thoughts. I love the fact that Stanley immediately wanted his smokes. Yeah, that's pretty realistic. If someone from the modern day wakes up 3,500 years later, like, I feel like that's something that you'll have, like, that itch, right? You want to have it, but you won't be able to get it until, obviously, Zeno. I think Stanley made it himself, but it took them a while to get it back. So that's something that you're gonna want to itch. That's pretty realistic. And like, it was the reflex too. Like, he was like no clothes at all. It was like the reflex to go for the smoke pack. Then Zeno making them for him is so funny. Yeah. I'm still not sure if Zeno made that for him or if Stanley made it. I'm surprised how easy it is to make the smokes. But yeah, if it was Zeno making it for him, that is both funny and sweet. Funny because Zeno's like, oh, those things are gonna kill you. Sweet because he knows that they're bad for Stanley's health, but he also knows that Stanley loves them. Also, as a manga reader, knowing what was coming the whole episode, I was just scared out of my mind, ready for Senku to get shot. The tension that they had for this episode was so good. Yeah, this episode, especially like the last 2 or 3 minutes, just kept going. I thought I thought it was gonna end when Zeno was saying, or when Stanley was asking Zeno like, "Oh, do you want me to kill him? Last chance. Yeah, this is permanent." And Zeno was kind of just like this. He's like thinking. I thought it was going to end there. The fact they just kept going, they kept ramping the tension until the final release. That was really good. It was really well paced there. The whole scene was also done beautifully. I mean, the way that they reasoned to get Senku. Yeah, I was going to say, I forgot to mention this. I love how smart, not just Zeno obviously is smart. You know, he's Senku's mirror. He's the evil scientist. I love how capable Stanley is too. Like, all Zeno needed to tell him was the height, and Stanley continued to go, okay, so it's these 3. These are the heights. All right. So in this situation, now that they know that there's a sniper, who's the one that's going to take initiative? We have the 2 that are lollygagging. The one that's like just freaking out, and the other one hiding. But Senku was the one to look back. He knew the one that takes initiative, the one that would notice Luna, that's the leader. It's so... I don't know. I was going to say refreshing. I don't think that's the right word, but it's really cool having capable villains. And it's not just the main villain that's capable, it's the henchmen too. I feel like... what's his name in season 3? Ibarra? I guess Maz was capable, but he wasn't really on Ibarra's side. He was his own player, so he needed to be capable in order to have the reasonable. In order for it to be reasonable that he's able to strike it out on his own. And then, what's her name? The one that the thrower, I forgot what her name is. Kirisame, I think. She's also capable, but she was kind of a henchman, but not really. Because once she found out that Ibarra backstabbed the leader, then she was like, "Oh, no, I don't work for you. I work for the leader." You know. So she was kind of a henchman, not really, but like here, it's just like Zeno and Stanley are both extremely capable, and I really love to see it. Especially Stanley going like, "That's all. The height is all I need. Say no more." Also, I always wondered with the scene of Zeno telling Stanley to fire, what Zeno was really thinking there. There's later stuff too that makes me wonder more, but the look on his face when he gave the command was really unsure. Yeah, I feel that. I also find it funny that Senku literally used a blick to try and protect himself. Also, oof, anime fans, I'm so sorry the episode ended there. It's like Dr. Stone and Attack on Titan. But I guess both of them released in 3 parts, right? But Dr. Stone and Attack on Titan, I feel like this season of Dr. Stone is just like every episode is just like, why do you end it there? And then Attack on Titan is always like that too. But yeah, I'm wondering. At first, I was thinking maybe it's sentiment, right? Maybe it's sentiment, but no. I don't know. It's interesting. I really like what they did there, because, like if it was live action, right? You could go like, oh, the actor with the face, like, he made like really subtle facial expressions. But here in animation, like it always has to be deliberate. So I really like that they deliberately kind of made Zeno kind of feel unsure, and that you're not like, I feel like it's like Zeno's telling the audience that it's purely logical. But I like it's also kind of up for interpretation of like, is Zeno coping with himself, right? Is he like, am I hesitating because it's logical to want an ally like Senku, or am I hesitating because he's my pupil? I like that it's set up for interpretation like that, and like we have the small little doubt on Zeno's side, but like, is the doubt because of sentimentality, or is it because of just like, let me calculate, will he work with me or will he not? And then Evie responded to Alex's comment saying, I see what you mean, Stanley and Zeno are gay, there's no question in my mind. Okay, and then the next one is, Yeah, there's no way some of this stuff has straight explanation. No, yeah, 100%. Like the last two-ish episodes, I think, have been like you've been seeing a little bit more of Stanley and Zeno, especially last episode, when the petrification beam was going over the world. I keep swapping their names. Stanley grabs Zeno and like held him really close, and he's like, "Everyone, get down!" He's like, "Stay awake, everyone!" And then this episode when Stanley, or not, I keep switching their names, but Zeno was like, "Oh, Stanley," or something like this, right? Nah, guys, they're roommates. They're roommates, honestly, right? There's an explanation. They're roommates. Nah, but I believe I 100% believe that they're definitely gay. They definitely have some form of romantic something. I don't know if they're actually in a relationship. But like if they're not in a relationship, they definitely got feelings for each other. Or maybe it's kind of like we don't need title. You and me, yeah. But like 100%. And I'm with Evie. They definitely did it before reviving everyone else. Oh, that's such a funny image. But oh yeah, they're definitely they like each other. They for sure like each other, and I think that's really sweet, especially with Zeno making giving Stanley such a hard time with those wretched things are gonna kill you. Now you don't have them anymore. And then eventually, after everything was settled down, I think it's implied that Zeno made him, but I also kind of thought that Stanley made him. Like, oh, don't mind if I do. I'm just gonna go dry these out. But if Zeno was the one that makes Stanley the smokes, that's also really sweet. Like, yeah, I'm giving you a hard time, but I know you like these, so I'll revive them for you. But man, I like Stanley and Zeno a lot. Like, the motivations aren't that deep, especially on Stanley's side. I don't know why Stanley's doing this, but Zeno's motivation is like, oh, I want to rule the world. Right, that's what he said. If I woke up in the stone world, I would use my knowledge of science to rule the world. And then I'm assuming Stanley's motivation is whatever Zeno wants. Like, I got you, babe, right? But like even then, like even with the motivations not being the most complex, or like they're not the most unique. They don't have like the most unique motivations in terms of like, oh, I'm gonna rule the world, baby. I like them a lot. There's just something about them. They are so infectious to watch on screen, especially like both separate and apart. I was gonna say especially one of them. Like, I was gonna say especially Stanley, but no, both of them. They're just saucy, man. They're saucy. I like them both a lot. They're so fun to watch on screen. And then like when they're together, it's like both of their sauce elements combined to make one really good sauce. I like that. They might be my favorite antagonists so far in Dr. Stone, and we haven't really even seen a lot of them that much. I mean, Ibarra was just a creep. I liked Ibarra mostly just because like it was very different to what Tsukasa was, and Ibarra was like that evil that was like, oh, I cannot wait for you to go down. You are just a terrible person. I cannot wait to see you get your comeuppance. But he was also scary because he was cunningly smart. And then Tsukasa, I love Tsukasa. He's one of the like deepest, I think, antagonists that the show has. In terms of his motivations, his goals, how he did it, how he felt about it. I love Tsukasa so much. But also, like, since he's been revived, I feel like the less we see of him, the less I care about him back in seasons 1 and 2. I don't know, it's weird. It's like retroactively, not degrading, but like retroactively making his character less interesting. But like meanwhile, Stanley and Zeno, where they don't have the most reasonable reasons. I'm just smart and I want to rule the world, and my boyfriend wants to rule the world, so I got him. They are so fun to watch on screen. I love them. They're so good. So they might end up being my favorite characters my favorite antagonist in Dr. Stone. And that's saying something, because the antagonist in Doctor Stone has always been super strong, and we barely have gotten anything with Zeno and Stanley so far. So I cannot wait to see more. And I mean, I know Senku can't die, and I know we teased the Medusa. I don't think they're going to use the Medusa, because they did say it's dead. I think they just reminded us that they still have the Medusa, so they can use it to kind of trap, or not to set a trap for Zeno. I don't think they'll use the Medusa, but man, Senku needs a doctor. And also very lucky for them that Luna's just an airhead. I love Luna, but I was thinking, like, you guys are talking about the Medusa plan, like your plan to use the Medusa right next to the person, like the very suspicious person on the boat. But no, she wasn't even paying attention, like, at all. Like, nothing but Aaron there. So very lucky for Senku. Well, not lucky for Senku. It did not work out for him. But I do wonder how Zeno would take the bait. I still really want to see Zeno and Senku. I want to see them meet again. It's like, hey, bitch, you shot me. Oh man, next episode's gonna be great. I hate that I have to wait week to week for this. I know that the manga's there, but then I wouldn't be able to react to it. So yeah, guys, thank you all very much for watching. Once again, join the Discord if you're interested. We can have threaded conversations like this. Like, comment, subscribe. Join the Patreon to get early access and full length to these reactions. You can watch them like 3 or 4 days before they come out on YouTube. Just depends how fast I can edit them. And yeah, leave your comments down below, and I'll see you all in the next one. For I guess Dr. Stone needs a doctor, and I don't think soap is going to be enough for this one. So let's see. Let's just hope that in Francois' arsenal of skills, medicine and surgery is one of them. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.